Recording. Hello, magandang gabi. Salamat for being here tonight. This is the Philippines meeting of February, and today is the 3rd of February. So Monday 3rd, and we're gathering just to continue to support each other and give like some updates and things. So I know that Sister Lodi, you all look wonderful, but I love that blouse. It suits you so good. And you also have some news to share, no, sister?
Um, Actually, I have some questions regarding the updates of Brother Rick.
Yeah.
And with some news about our country, of course, the chaos that's been going on and happening with the politicians, the administration.
Mhm.
So, well, I know it's part of the process. Uh, everybody in the world is experiencing the healing, so it must happen.
Yes.
So we're just observing them and not absorbing their negativities, of course.
Awesome. Awesome. It's like a healing crisis. Now that kind of
Yes.
term, it feels like a crisis, but it's actually what we need to go through to get to the other side.
Yes, and kahit ano pa po ang marinig natin sa mga news about the away-away or sa mga calamities, sa
Mm.
mga pagbaha, mga sunog sa paligid. Everywhere in the world, marami pong pangyayari. Tayo, as light workers, light beings that we are, all divine, syempre, kailangan po manatili tayo doon sa frequency energy level na ating i-maintain na ang alignment natin sa universe ay i-maintain po natin yan. And huwag tayong patangay sa density ng energy na nangyayari all over the world. Yun po ang ating duty as light beings.
Alma.
Ah, Sister Evelyn that I was greeting here. There we go. I think she has the mic open a bit. But yeah, we're seeing this destabilization like of a lot of the administration or so-called governments around the world. It's happening everywhere. If you look, like, I don't know, I think it was last week, maybe in Serbia, the students took over the universities, and then students and teachers and their families and friends and mostly everyone went out to the streets to just say to the government, say, please end corruption. We don't want a corrupted system. And it was millions and millions on the streets. It was like so many people that they all agree that the system that we're living in now, it's so rotten. It's like it has no fix and it's destabilized. And I don't know, I think like the ruler kind of resigned also. A lot of is going on. Like Ministry of Health, I don't know also from where he resigned because of all the, well, what happened in 2020. They were now saying they're banning all kind of treatments, the treatments that they proposed, they're banning them because they see that there is like it's toxic, and it's not only toxic but it carries also nanotechnology and all of these things they're finding out, and they're kicking those companies like out of countries. We also saw like an open AI, open source kind of technology going out and being free. And the curious thing that it came from China. So China giving to the world a AI tool for free without censorship. It's crazy. And that destabilized a lot of the other AI companies that maybe they are more in hands of more powerful people. And the stock market and everything, it crashed. And also, I saw some other updates that they're talking about like BlackRock, this awesome, like, not awesome, there's huge shareholders that they have their hands on everything, media, pharmaceuticals, food industry, like in everything, that it's going almost bankrupt. And a lot of like banks that give credits to powerful people, they're also disappearing. So it's like if you don't look, you maybe think that nothing is happening. But if you're looking just a bit, but as Sister Lodi said, just observing, not absorbing, is that you're all the time saying, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Okay. There's a lot of things happening that we didn't imagine. Maybe they would. And I think this year and probably the next 2 or 3 months, it's gonna be a lot of this kind of reaction, looking at things and saying, oh, look at that. Oh, and more truths. Because on the other side, I saw like a gamer that he was only talking about games and giving updates of the games that were coming this year and saying which one is the best and the pros and cons of the game. He started, he doesn't know how, to be interested in also making videos because now he has a big following of other kind of things. And he started like going to the Joe Rogan podcast and things like that and bringing themes like they found the Ark of the Covenant and they found like Noah's Ark and they're using LiDAR and apparently like Noah's Ark, it's like the exact dimensions of Noah's Ark and the shape and everything in a mountain, I don't know where. And all of these things that are unraveling a lot of like, okay, this is free energy technology, like the Ark that was available. But at the same time, it's interesting with that kind of Ark that is kind of like a golden box, that it has a layer of wood, a special wood in the middle, all with very specific dimensions and gold inside, that apparently creates like a crazy amount of energy. But if you open that, you can see it in one of the Indiana Jones movies, that the Nazis wanted like to get hands on the ark to harness its power. But when they have like a, if they don't are not light beings and they don't have a light and kind heart, they don't have the frequency to be able to harness that technology, to even try to access it. So what would happen is like someone dark or that is vibrating low, like mainly being a dark being, mean and bad, let's say, they would open and they would just uh like set on fire. They set us on fire, they vanish. It's like that's so powerful also. And I like it because it's kind of like the same thing we're talking about, the frequencies that we are raising the frequency and helping Gaia like go faster in that rise, that everything that is in the lower vibrations, everything that causes harm, inevitably will disappear from Earth. That's like a fact. And that's like so reassuring. And we have a lot of like scientists and that they did a lot of like experiments and they can say this is true. If you come to this band of frequency, this you cannot experience. It cannot exist in this. So it's lovely. It's like a little bit kind of also giving a message of like it's happening and we are doing it. Because a lot of like people that even in this room and the ones that listen to the video later, you can see the changes that you've been doing in your lives, in your own mind and consciousness, how you opened up a lot of things, have you changed so many things in the last few years. But maybe I would say the last 2 or 3 years, it's been crazy how much with like encounter information. And so we change our habits, we go more inside, we're more insightful. And all of that is what is raising the frequency too. So thank you all also for your commitment and for your responsibility and for your strength. Because we were also saying that in this kind of epochs that we are riding, we feel like, especially like the body feels so like exhausted. So we all feel like very kind of tired. And sometimes you feel like without energy, but it's like that's how we keep functioning because we are also activating like the power of our hearts. Is we know that we're doing something bigger, that we're involved in something bigger, and that's why we keep up going. If not, we would be lying down like most of the time if you can, because the energies have been like so, there's so much going on, so much changing, so much that the self is processing also, that then you have very little energy to function in the outside world, especially in this January that we were saying, uh, we were all kind of invited to be more paying attention to yourself, your own self. What are you doing? What are you giving energy to? How are you nurturing yourself? That was kind of Mars going retrograde in Cancer. That is, how do you nurture yourself? So very interesting. And we still have a little bit more of that in February before we start more in the active. But in the interim, as Sister Lodi said, we can like watch some of the things that are happening in the world, and you can definitely see things changing for the best. In the moments, you can feel that it's a little bit chaotic, but it's like remember that it's always all perfect, that it's all okay. The things that need to fall, they need to fall before the new system and GPMS can be implemented, rise and just create this earth with a reality that involves everybody living a free and abundant reality, and where we all understand that we are all equal and we came here to this playground to just enjoy and experience together and co-create the best that we can. And I can't wait. I tell you, brothers and sisters, I every time I talk about GPMS and I just tell them it's like the it's we cannot even like imagining our wildest dreams have everything will be, because we're entering also in the unknown, but it's gonna be like so amazing, so great. And we've been living in such a limited kind of mindset that is gonna blow our minds, but for the best, just everybody having the possibility to create anything with no limits, just with unlimited resources, free energy, no more disease, no more wars. It's mind blowing. And that's why we keep on doing this. So sis, I don't know if you wanna share a little bit what you're doing also this week and next week, or you wanna continue with the questions. And please, at any moment, if anyone wants to just say something, ask, or just share, please just raise your hand with the handy or just like this, and you have the floor. Sis, the mic.
Yeah, I've also unmuted myself. Okay. I would like to ask you, sister, to further expound the relation of this ascension process with GPMS, since most of those representatives are very watchful of the updates about GPMS, and they are quite um thinking, why is there none about GPMS but always ascension? So can you expound a bit more about the relationship of ascension with GPMS?
Yes, of course, sister. I feel like they're very, very intimately related. I see like a GPMS as a tool that we can use to just navigate this ascension, not just going through it as we can, but going through it the best we possibly can, unlocking absolutely everything for everyone. And when one see like in the Bible, and it talks about in some books, because it's in all civilizations that they talk about the battle between evil and good, I see that GPMS is also a tool for that, because it actually enables us to be on the good path, let's say, and remove evil from the planet. Because up to now, evil's been fed mainly like by two things: by the lower vibrations of the people mentality after all the fake stories that they say, that they mainly based on lack and fear. So there's gonna be a war. We're gonna be a war all the time in a fear state, and there's no more food for anyone. The water resources are gonna end in 30 years. It's all lies. It's all lies. Earth never, it'll never run out of like water. It's like 80% water. God's sake. It's like we've been living in this reality where they told so many lies so much time that people just believe them. We all did. That's why it's a good thing to just have a system, GPMS here, that we can just focus on creating the new more than being stuck in looking like in what went wrong or whatever, because there's no point. We're just like moving forwards. And with GPMS, we will have no wars because it's a system of the people. And if we ask the people, I would say easily 95% of the world would say we don't want wars. So clearly we are the vast majority. There would be no wars on the planet. Diseases are mainly caused by stress and by all the toxics that our lovely administrations, let's say, put on everything. So they make sure that you get your dose of toxics, and media feeding all the time fear narratives. We would be now managing the media. We would be the people would be managing now the food production. There's already so many people that they're already like doing their own gardening and planting their own foods and sharing it. Because once you start like planting, you see that it's more than enough what they give. You always like it's like you need then to share because it's too much just for one or even for a large family, the harvest that you get. So, and what else? Disease would be eradicated then because all the factors that enable disease, they would be gone. At the same time, with the raise of vibration of the planet and of the individuals in an individual basis, once your frequency it's gone a certain level, there's no chance that you can have any kind of disease. And what else is there? I just see that all the problems that we had was based mainly in what I just said and the greed for power and for money. And also GBMS deactivates all of that because now we would all have crazy amounts of money because we make it ourselves. We now manage the banking system with GPMS. We now manage the presses to print money. So we all have what we need all the time because the only rule is do no harm. So as long as your endeavor, what you want to create, causes no harm, you will be instantly funded for whatever you want to do on top of receiving those 10,000 value dollar per month each. You would have already electricity for free. The water supply would be free. Wi-Fi would be free. It's like you're realizing then that we're gonna have a lot of money, but we won't have anything to spend it on, kind of. And you need a vehicle, you can have it. You need a house, you can have it. So it's like, what else can we ask? In that way, we can all live really a stress-free life, and we can finally like start like being ourselves and just doing what we wish to do, but from our hearts to create a lot more. I feel we're gonna have a lot of art because imagining, I don't know, at least half of the world, they would be like all the people that still have like the ordinary jobs in the police, in the military, in the judicial system, in the economic system, all of those that they're crashing, even in the administrations and everything. What are they going to do all day? Because those jobs are going to be unnecessary. What are you going to do now? It's like it enables each and every one to say, what would I wish to do like with my life? And we know that when we're in our hearts, you always do something that is going to be like positive for the environment, like for the world itself and for all your fellows like brothers and sisters. And we would be sharing everything. So we will realize also in a not so long time that we didn't even need money in the first place. So it's like absolutely an abundant and a freedom instrument. So it's like we're gonna go through this journey of ascension and of falling of the old system and the birthing of a new system. And you have just two ways to go through it. If you go through it, some may choose not to go through it. And they just ascend directly and they catch us. They leave the earth now and they catch us then in the upper frequency. But the ones that choose to go through it, you can go, if we do GPMS and implement GPMS, super comfortable, just all like happy singing and creating without limits, or you can go in a very, very stressful kind of desperation kind of mode, focusing in what's falling and not in what is rising. So yeah, I feel it goes hand in hand. What it's like one enables the other, that enables the other, that enables the other. So for me, it's kind of like part of the same thing. And it's not casual that we had it in these times. If not, we would have GPMS like since, I don't know, it would have been downloaded 40, 50 years ago. But no, it was downloaded kind of 2019, 20, when the big destabilization of the planet in a global way because of that fake thing that they said happened 2020. It was a global, it was a problem that we were all sharing at the same time. That's when we got a plan that would show that instead of uniting to get desperate, we can unite to just envision a better world and, in fact, an ideal world, best it can be.
Sister, we have remaining 2 minutes, and after this part 1 ended, please come back po. Click nyo lang ulit yung link about 10 minutes after para makapag-start po tayo sa part 2. And yun na nga, so nakita po natin na may relasyon talaga yung ascension na nangyayari with GPMS kasi kailangan natin mag-ascend. Andito ang GPMS, kailangan natin mag-align. Yon. Kaya kailangan po ang process of ascension. So physically, yung katawan natin, sumasabay din siya. Kaya kanina po earlier, bago tayo nag-start, meron kaming pinagkukwentuhan na ascension symptoms na nararamdaman ng bawat isa. And then, two-way po ang ascension, meaning yung isa, yung fastest way is umalis ka dito ngayon sa human vessel mo. So that's the shortest way. Or tulungan mo yung katawan mo from carbon-based, mag-transition siya to crystalline base. Yan po ang dalawang paraan. So, either way, papunta pa rin tayo sa ascension. So, magkikita pa rin tayo doon kung alin man pong proseso ang gusto ninyong pagdaanan. So, very exciting. Kahit mahirap. Pero, exciting talaga ang pupuntahan natin. Very, very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
And I love it when you say crystalline. It's kind of like Christ, not Christ, as we know, but like the
Yes.
Christos
Mhm.
aligned, like aligned to the true way, to the divine way, following divine law.
Yes.
And then everything is
Mm-mm.
divine through us
Yes.
because we're divine. Only that we will live a divine
Yes.
existence together. Love it.
Yes. Perfect. We are
Yeah.
all divine. Claim